Okay, so let's recite together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to the sublime, the victorious, the totally self-enlightened one. So today we are going to continue with a little bit of the place in which the effect of karma is going to take place. And this is going to be the last part of chapter 5. And then we will talk a little bit about death and rebirth. And completing chapter 5, I think today we are entering chapter 6 actually. So congratulations, we're almost like halfway of the Abhidhamma Sangha. Okay, so, but before we start with today's topic, there are something that I'd like to talk about from last week. So last week, Edith asked about Tirasanya and its relation with sati. So I was not very familiar with this word, and I have talked with my teacher about it. And then he said this tirasanya, the spelling is a little bit different from what Claudia sent to me, but I imagine it's the same word. So there is an H here, tirasanya. So this word tira actually means firm, and sanya means perception. So when we talk about sati, sati is very connected with perception all the time. So tirasanya, actually in the Theravada text, is usually it is used as tirasanya padatthana. So that means the proximate cause of sati is firm perception. So that's actually the proximate cost of sati, but it is not the result of sati. So with very strong perception, when we see the phenomena again and again and again, then it's easy for the mind to remember it. And so sati is easier to arise. So that is the how this word is being used. I think it might be a little bit more popular in the Thai tradition, Thai meditative tradition, to use this tirasanya word, because I have been recently, I'm reading the book that is called A Meditator's Guide by Venerable Ajahn Pramod. I don't know if you have heard about him. He's very great, venerable, great teacher in Thailand. I've actually met him once in Bangkok. Well, actually close to Bangkok, in Thailand. And his way of teaching meditation is very close to the way that my teacher in Burma, Sayadaw Tejaniya, teaches. So it's very similar, the things that they say, and I like it very much because he also emphasized very much on the continuity of sati in our daily life all the time. So I'm recently reading his book, and I also find this word there, tirasanya. He also mentioned about it. So the way how he explained it is like, so we have to be watching and observing the mind all the time. So every time the mind sees or observe a phenomena. Let's say sometimes let's say we are meditating, and then the mind goes off to think about something, let's say. So every time if we meditate and the mind does that, and if we are able to watch that, so we know that, then the mind gets familiar with this kind of situation. So the sanya, the perception of this kind of situation becomes strong. So that is how Venerable Ajahn Pramod used this word. So when we observe it many times, then the mindfulness of this kind of phenomena will quickly arise, because the mind is familiar with it already. It knows it. So sati will arise more easier, and it will arise on its own when this type of situation happens. So it is through observing a lot, many time, then that perception becomes strong, and then sanya will be a supportive condition for sanya to arise. Sati mindfulness to arise easier. So So in that case, this tirasanya, this word is used and it is related, and it is the proximate cause of sati. So does that answer your question, Edith? Yeah, and Claudia. Oh, okay. All right. So after that, then let's go to today's content. Now, we have been talking about where the effects of karma take place, so in which realm, in place of location. No? So we talked about 4 types of karma. Then we have already seen akusala karma, unwholesome karma, that it takes place during patisandhi time. If it takes place, if its result is during patisandhi, rebirth time, then it will take place in the 4 UFO state. If it is during lifetime, then it can be in the 4 UFO state, it can be in the human realm, it can be in other states as well. So that we have already seen. And we have also looked at kamma, vachara, kusala, karma, and we have also defined how to better practice wholesome karma last week, right? We have seen how 3-rooted kusala, if it is well done, then its result will also be 3 roots. If it is not very well done, a little bit done carelessly, then the result can become 2 roots. And if the karma is done with 2 roots and done carelessly, then its result might become even rootless, right? So we have seen all this last week. Now today we are going to the next section, which is the place where rupa vachara kusala karma, wholesome karma pertaining to the 5 material sphere, and the arupa vachara kusala karma, where their result will take place. So let's go to the 5 material sphere first. So rupa vachara kusala karma. Now, to define rupa vachara kusala karma, first, where we have already looked at this in chapter 1, that actually means jhana, right? So rupa vachara kusala, wholesome karma, are only to be achieved through meditation, right? It is a mental action. It's not actually we do something physically or verbally, right? So it's a mental action, mano karma. It can only be achieved through samatha meditation, yeah, and attainment of the jhana states. So let's say when we meditate, but we did not arrive to the jhana state. Sometimes we meditate, but that will not be considered as rupa vachara kusala karma. That will only be, that will be kamma vachara kusala karma, no? When we meditate. And that is bhavana, mental cultivation, yeah? So in order for the karma to be a rupa vachara kusala karma, then one must reach the jhana state, yeah? So that is important. Now, as we know, for jhana, rupa vachara jhana, there are 5 types of different rupa vachara kusala karma. No? So 5 jhanas according to the jhanangas, no? Jhana factors. So this we have already looked at it in previous chapter. Say the first jhana is accompanied by 5 jhana factors, right? Vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata. So these 5 plus other chatasikas that we have already seen in chapter 2. Then the second jhana without vitaka, yeah? So vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. Then we have the third jhana, piti, sukha, ekagata. And the fourth jhana, sukha and ekagata. While the fifth jhana is also 2 jhana factors, but it's upeka and ekagata, yeah? Okay, so the first, second, third, and fourth jhana, when one meditates and attains that jhana in the mental process, as we have seen in chapter 4, during the rupa vachara, the jhana mental processes, all the jhavanas there, when one attained jhana already, all the jhavanas there will become jhana, yeah? So today we are going to talk about the result of these kind of jhavanas, no? This jhana, all these jhana, these chittas, when they give result, where it will give result. Now, if the result is to be given during patisandhi time, that means, let's say a person meditates and attains jhana, then when he or she passed away, then during rebirth consciousness, rebirth time, this rebirth will bring the person to be reborn into one of the 16 rupa vachara planes. So For the first jhana, there are 3 planes, second jhana, 3 planes, third jhana, 3 planes, fourth jhana, 7 planes. We have looked at this just a few weeks ago when we look at the different realms, yeah? Now, here you see only first to fourth jhana, right? So why is that so? That's because this is Sutanda way, yeah? So if we classified it according to Abhidhamma way, then it will be the first jhana, 3 planes, is for the first and second jhana. So with vitaka and vichara, no? The jhanangas, jhana factors. Then the second jhana in the Sutanta way is equivalent to the third jhana in Abhidhamma way, and so forth. Yeah. So we, when we talk about the planes, here we see that the first and second Abhidhamma way jhana, they go to the same realm, actually, the 3 planes of the first jhana. Then jhana can also be developed into different level. So it can be developed into a limited development, medium development, and superior development. Now, the first one, limited development, means someone actually attained jhana, but he or she just got the jhana and didn't enter to it again. So he or she is not very familiar with the jhana, but he or she got that attainment. Now, medium development means the person, he or she enters into that jhana more often, but still not very skillful. And superior development means the person enters to it very frequently, and he or she is very skillful with that jhana. Skillful here means that the person can enter to the jhana or come out to the jhana as he or she wishes, very swiftly. Without much difficulty, and then he or she can decide the length of time of how long to stay in the jhana, and from one jhana switch to another jhana, all these different skill about the jhana. If the person is very, very skillful with that, then that is considered a superior development. Yeah. So depending on how skillful the person is with that jhana, specific jhana, then in Patisandhi time, that will define in which realm of the first jhana, the 3 planes, the person will be reborn into. So for the first, second, and the third jhana, or Abhidhamma way, first, second, third, and fourth jhana, there are 3 planes each, right, in each level. So if the person has limited or medium or superior attainment, then it is how the place where they will be reborn is defined. So according to this, now I will not read everything. We have seen this different realms a few weeks ago. So the 3 planes, no, according to their attainment. All right. So how about the 4th jhana Sutanta way and 5th jhana Abhidhamma way? That can also be developed differently, but for the 5th jhana, there are 7 planes, so they are a little bit different here. Now, for the 5th jhana, if a person, actually, when he or she is able to attain the 5th jhana, he usually is quite skillful with it. So with the normal 5th jhana, a person will be reborn into the Vayafala, the great result plane with a normal 5th jhana. But if the person, while he or she meditates and attain the 5th jhana, they have this kind of idea that there will be no mind. If there will be no mind, there will be no suffering. So the mind is what is causing suffering. So it's better just to have rupa without mind. So with this kind of idea and with the power of the concentration of that jhana, that being, when he or she passed away, then he or she will be reborn into the asanyasata realm. That's the realm of the non-percipient being. Yeah, we have talked about this previously. So they will be reborn there with only rupa, without any chitta. Chitta will not arise for a certain amount of time. Actually during the lifespan of the asanyasata, and only arise again when that life is finished. Yeah. Now, okay, so that's 2 realm. And then for the Sudawasa, there are 5 pure abodes. Now we know that the pure abodes are only for non-returners, only for anagami. Yeah. Okay. Now, but here it doesn't mean that an anagami must reborn in Sudawasa. It only means that Sudawasa, only anagami can be reborn into the Sudawasa, but other anagamis, if the anagami attained only first jhana, then he or she will be reborn accordingly to the first jhana different realm. Yeah. So if they are to be reborn into the fifth, if they have fifth jhana as well, they will be reborn into these five Sudawasa, any of one of this, depending on their spiritual faculty. So the five indriyas, we have also talked about this previously. We have Sada and Panya as a pair that needs to be balanced. And we have, on the other hand, Samadhi and Viriya, which needs to be balance, and sati is the one that knows whether they are balanced or not and make the adjustment. Yeah. So here you see this graphic. It is because in the scripture it is described or asked like a horseman with 4 horses, no, like riding a horse cart. So Sada and Panya must be balanced, and Samadhi and Viriya must be balanced for it to run smoothly. Or sometimes it is used as like the wings, 2 wings of an eagle. For it to fly very high, both must be balanced. So therefore this graphic. Yeah. Yes, Ahmad?
Yeah, so this means the anagami, after attaining anagami, the anagami will also have to develop the jhana, the 5th jhana as well, right?
Not necessarily 5th jhana, but some kind of jhana and anagami will surely attain, because you remember in anagami stage, the kamma raga, sense desire, is totally eradicated, right? So an anagami will never be reborn into the sense realm again. So he or she will not be reborn into human world or deva world. So it must be Brahman world. Yeah.
So for anagami, it is not required to attend the jhana, right? In order to
according to my teacher, for them, they will attain jhana, because it is only through attainment of jhana they will be reborn into the Brahma realm. But imagine for the anagami, the sense desire is already totally eradicated, right? So among the 5 hindrances, all the 5 hindrances for them is basically there is not much. So for them, it's very easy to divert the mind to concentration. So for them to attain jhana is very easy. So therefore, they will surely attain some kind of jhana.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ahmad. All right. So for an anagami, when they attained the 5th jhana, then depending on their spiritual faculty, which spiritual faculty is more prominent for that person, then they will be reborn into the 5 different realm in the Sudawasa: the Aviha, Atapa, Sudasa, Sudasi, and Akanita, these 5 abbots. Yeah. So depending if it is Sada, then the first realm, Viriya, the second realm, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya, and so on. So depending on what is more prominent, which 5 spiritual faculty is more prominent for that person, and they will be reborn there. Okay. Now, that's about the Patisandhi time, right? So if Rupa Vachara Kusala give result during Patisandhi time, during rebirth time, then that person will be reborn, that being will be reborn into one of these 16 Rupa Vachara plane. Yes, Ahmad?
Yeah, I do have one question I forgot to ask you. So, so one, like, the one who attend the jhana, but this jhana, he has to attend during the last javana before the chuti chitta, right?
No.
Or okay. I mean, one attend the jhana, but during the last moment of the life, right? If he's not in the jhana state, will he in the Putisandhi moment, will he reborn into the
yes, yeah. Okay. Now you remember in a little while later, then we will go to the dying process also. So that time we will have graphic now, but I will just explain it here now, imagining you might remember the last dying process. Now remember, jhana, a person cannot die during jhana. So if the person is going to die, of course, a person, if he or she has jhana and before dying, they can attain jhana and stay in the jhana for some time. But before the dying mental process arises, they must come out from the jhana, and then the dying process can happen. Yeah. The dying mental process. So during the dying mental process, there are these javana, no? If a person, say, like Ahmad was saying, if a person before dying, he or she entered jhana, but he or she must come out from jhana, yeah? So in the last dying process, he or she may take those jhana factors as object, like he or she can contemplate on those jhana factors and pass away. That's possible. That's possible. Yeah. But the last mental process must not be a jhana process. He or she must first come out, and then those javana, only 5 javana during the dying mental process, and then chuti will arise. So if it's an anagami, then that's not the last life like an arahant, no? So there will be patisandhi again. So if the person has attained 5th jhana, let's say, then he or she, depending on the skillfulness and also which spiritual faculty is more prominent for this anagami, then the patisandhi, that javana during the dying process will be a supportive condition for that kamma, that rupa vachara kusala kamma to give result, and then the rebirth consciousness patisandhi will arise then. Right, Ahmad?
Okay, I think
okay.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, yes, welcome. Edit.
Can you please clarify again? I don't know if I understood it correctly. You mentioned that an anagami reborn in other Brahma realms, Pavachara realm, other than the abodes.
Other than, sorry, what?
Pure abodes.
Yes. So an anagami, during lifetime, if he or she attained the 5th jhana, Abhidhamma way, or 4th jhana Sutanda way, no? So if he or she has this attainment, then surely he or she, most of the time, no, will be reborn into the Suddha Vasa, the pure abode, the 5 of the pure abode, depending on the spiritual faculty. Right? Okay, so that's the usual case. Now, but if an anagami, he or she prefer to be reborn into another realm, in the Brahma realm, if it is his or her strong wish to be reborn into another realm, that's possible also. So it's not a fixed case. And there are some anagami who might not have 5th jhana. Maybe that anagami only practice until the 2nd jhana or 3rd jhana. Then he or she will be reborn accordingly to that jhana, to that Brahma realm, not in the Suddhavasa, but in another realm. So the main point here is Suddhavasa, in order to be reborn into the Suddhavasa, one must be an anagami. But it is not necessary that all anagami to be reborn into the Suddhavasa. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. I had misunderstandings in regards to this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, Claudia.
Yes, my question is, which are the obstacles for which one individual can't reach a deeper state of jhana? So, for instance, if I reach jhana on, like a subtle level, why I cannot then reach deeper level of jhanas? It sounds really strange for me, this one. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Now, first, to attain 1st jhana, let's talk about the first one first. So attain the 1st jhana, one must suppress all the 5 hindrances. Yeah. The mind must be concentrated, must be pure. So 5 hindrances cannot affect one. Then during that time, concentrating on that specific meditation object, maybe anapana, maybe different person use different object, maybe earth element or anything, no? So during the 40 kinds of meditative object, one can choose. So attaining that first jhana, then one has to be very skillful with the first jhana if he or she wants to attain the second jhana. Because jhana goes step by step. We cannot say, oh, I now practice directly for fifth jhana. That's not possible. Then when one must get first jhana, then very skillful with the first jhana. Then how does one go to the second jhana? By eliminating vitaka, no? So while he or she practiced, and then he or she can know what kind of cetasika or the jhananga, the jhana factors are arising there. So at this time, the meditator, he or she thinks. Now, vitaka, this cetasika is still a little bit gross. It's still very close to sense desire and close to the hindrances. So I should better drop it in order to advance. Right? So in that case, then he or she practiced again and again and again and again. Now, when he or she is able to drop vitaka, so the jhananga only, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata, and that time, then the second jhana is attained. Yeah, so with the second jhana, then you practiced again and again and again to drop the other mental factors, no? So one must practice continuously, and try. And sometimes also among the 40 types of meditation object, some does not arrive to the fifth jhana. Say a person practice metta and attained to a certain jhana, but then later on, if he or she wants to continue, then he or she must change the object. Because that jhana cannot, that object cannot lead one to the fifth jhana because it's with upekkha also, no? So for these different reasons, one have to adjust one's own meditation in order to advance. Is that clear, Claudia?
Yes, it's very clear. So let's say that is a series of factors that make you progress, like effort, the knowledge. Is not just only the skill is developing that way. That's correct?
Yeah, of course, the method must be correct, and the object must be correct, and the way how one practiced, and also the effort, no? And the effort of practice. That's the most important. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Edith?
I just want to add to what Claudia is asking, right? Can you please talk about also the circumstances and the environment that is needed for attaining a jhana? Like, I think seclusion is very important, and the quiet place is very important, and etc. Thank you.
Yeah, for jhana, we all know that jhana is to be attained through samatha meditation, right? So for samatha meditation, that means concentration, one-pointedness is important. So the concentration to the very object, say anapana, breath, in-breath and out-breath, concept of the breath. So for that, it is more conducive if a person is in a quiet place. And then most of the time for jhana, people meditate seated down, sitting meditation with eyes closed. So an environment that does not disturb the person is said to be more conducive. It is also, we can also find this information in the text for environment that is conducive to meditation includes a clean environment. Say if we meditate in a place in a room very dirty and lots of stuff, and so the mind is not easy to get concentrated. So like a lot of different things and make the mind busy, no? So this is also helpful. And then to clean oneself is also important. So one take a shower or something, so one feels clean and happy. And so clean oneself, clean environment is also conducive for that. A quiet place, some place where people do not disturb. And so I do not remember exactly all the points, but in the text you can find this more information about that. So I will write it down and I'll see if I remember where, and if I find it, then I will send to everyone. Okay.
Thank you so much. I wanted to just randomly just came to me, like, would being properly fed, like not hungry at least, important as well?
I think so, but I do not remember this point at the moment. But when I find the list, then we can check again what points are there. I remember the cleaning,
Super.
the clean of oneself and the place and quietness and all this. Yeah, okay. You're welcome. All right, so let's continue. Let's come back to the content. So we have been talking about the place where fine material wholesome karma give effect, right? So during Patisandhi time, it will be in one of the 16 Rupavachara planes. And now let's look at during lifetime. Now, for the result of Rupavachara Vipaka, Rupavachara Kusala during lifetime, it is also in those realm, also in the 16th Rupavachara realm. And this result will only be Bhavanga and Chuti. So you remember that the Rupavachara Vipaka Chittas, that they are identical with the Rupavachara Kusala Chitta, right? So though they have identical results. So during that lifetime, or if a person, you remember the functions of the chittas we have studied in chapter 3, if the that kind of resultant give result to be reborn into the Rupavachara realm, then the Patisandhi will be the same type of resultant chitta as the Bhavanga or the Bhavanga that happened in that lifetime and the Chuti. Remember that? That will be the same kind of resultant consciousness will arise again and again, yeah? So for the lifetime, during the lifetime of this Brahma, all throughout his life, that resultant, the Bhavanga chitta that arises throughout, will also be the same type of Rupavachara Vipaka chitta that gave the Patisandhi, will be the same one. And Chuti also, when this life is finished, yeah? Now, of course, there will be other type of resultant, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, but these are, remember, result of Kamavachara Kusala. So since in this section, we are talking only about the result of Rupavachara Kusala, Vipaka Chitta, so it will only be identical Vipaka Chitta that serve as Bhavanga and Chuti. Okay? So all those eye consciousness and ear consciousness for this Brahma will be those result of Kamavachara Kusala that he or she has done. Yeah, is that clear? Those are result of a different kind of karma. Yeah? Okay. All right. So with this, we have finished with the Rupavachara Kusala karma, where it gives result. That's quite straightforward. And for Arupavachara, we can understand it in basically the very similar same way. Yes, Amar?
So there is no Javana in this realm, Javana Chitta?
Of course, there will be, because whenever there are mental processes, of course, there will be Javana.
Okay.
But we are now talking about resultant and where it give result, therefore we didn't mention it. But we're talking about Vipaka Chitta, therefore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, let's go to the Arupa Vachara Kusala Kamma. When it gives result. All right, so first, Arupa Vachara Kusala Kamma means the jhana again, yeah? But now this time, it is the fifth jhana. There are together, I mean, the jhana factors are the same as the fifth jhana, as the fifth Rupavachara jhana, yeah? So jhana factors here does not change anymore. It's still upeka and ekagata. But for Arupavachara Kusala Kamma, there are 4 jhanas, 4 levels. Now, the difference of this, that will be the object changes here, yeah? So for the first Arupavachara Kusala Kamma, the object is infinite space. Second one is the first Arupavachara Chitta itself, yeah? So it takes that Chitta that contemplates as its object, yeah? Now, the third one is the absence of the first Arupavachara Chitta, is the object of the third Arupavachara jhana. And the fourth one is Neva Sanyana Sanya, so neither perception nor non-perception. That's the highest, right? So accordingly, if this Arupavachara Kusala Kamma is to give result during Patisandhi time, then it will give result into the 4 respective arupa vachara plane according to the object. So actually these planes have the same name as this object itself. So akasa nanchayatana riyam for the first one, vinyana nanchayatana riyam, akincha yatana riyam, and then neva sanyana sanyayatana riyam. So depending on the object, that is the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and the fourth jhana. So whichever one the person attained, then they will be reborn into that realm respectively. Yes, Amar, you have a question?
No, it was probably previous.
All right, okay. All right, so that's during Patisandhi time, easy to understand. Now, for result during lifetime, it's actually the same as Rupa Vachara Kusala. It will only give identical results with the function of Bhavanga and Chuti during that lifetime. Because Arupa Vachara Kusala, Arupa Vachara Vipaka, they are always identical result. Yeah. So those results will serve as Bhavanga and Chuti during that lifetime of that non-material Brahma. No? And for this realm, needless to say, there will be no other eye consciousness, ear consciousness, etc., because there is no rupa at all. No, they are arupa, only mind being. Yeah. So those result of the kamavachara kusala will not even arise there. All right, so up to here, we have finished with the section with where the place where kamma, 4 types of kamma, akusala, kusala, rupavachara kusala, arupavachara kusala, give its result. So that's finished with all that already. So I think it's quite straightforward and shouldn't be difficult to understand. Now, in this next section, we are going to talk about death and rebirth. So everyone ready to move to the other section? No more questions about the place, yeah? All right, okay, so let's go to death and rebirth. This section is a little short, actually, easy to understand also, but very interesting. Now we're going to talk about the 4 causes of death, like how a person may die. So according to the Theravada's teaching, there are 4 causes, 4 different causes one can die. Now the first one is called ayukaya, the expiration of lifespan. Now, I will first introduce the 4 types, and then we will go into each one with details, okay? The second one is called kamma-kaya. So that means the expiration of karma for this life. Then we have ubaya-kaya. That means the expiration of both lifespan and karma, both of them finished. Then we have the upachedaka. That means the intervention of a destructive karma. So these 4 are the causes, the 4 causes of death. Now, according to the text, a life, any life of any being is compared to an oil lamp. So with an oil lamp, what happened if there is no more wick? Or what happened if there is no more oil? Or what happened if there is no wick and no oil both? Or if it was blown out by wind. So different examples are being given for these 4 types of reason or the cause of death. Now, the first one, the finishing of the wick is compared to the expiration of lifespan. Now here, current human average lifespan is around like in this age 73, 75 or something like that as an average, yeah. But of course, there are people who live until over 100 or 105 or 110 maximum, not more than that. No, in this era, more or less. So if a person dies when he reaches or when he or she reaches that 100-some years, although the karmic force, the karma, the previous good karma that give the patisandhicita for this person to live as a human being in this life, although that karmic force might still not be exhausted, or that karma can support he or she to even live longer, but human lifespan just does not go far further than that. In that cases, this kind of death is called the expiration of lifespan. So that means although karma may support longer, but human life just does not support any longer. We cannot live longer than that. So in that case, that is called the expiration of lifespan compared to the finishing of the wick itself. No more wick. So even there is oil left there and it cannot be burned anymore. Yes, Edith?
So would that mean that that karma that is, let's say, not exhausted, then it still have the potential to give another life?
No, because actually in some books, some teachers say so. But according to Sayadaw Silananda's explanation, the same karma, or I mean that karma that gave the patisandhi for this lifetime, it can only give this result for once. Although it cannot support it for longer time. Say if lifespan of human, let's say in the time of the Buddha, the average lifespan is 100 or so, yeah, so longer than now a little bit. So if the person were born that time, then he might have lived longer, maybe 120 or 130, I don't know. Yeah, so depending on the time the person was born, that lifespan. But that karma, if lifespan is not there anymore, then even the karma is still there. Is still oil, but that is useless. It cannot be burned anymore. So that also finished because of that. All right. So that is about lifespan. Now, for the celestial being, the lifespan is much longer than human. No, so for them, if that karmic force support the being to be a deva, so maybe that karma can support for much longer time than human life. No. Say Chatumaharajika, those beings, they live for 500 celestial beings. So if the deva lived all the 500 celestial years and die at that time, then that's the expiration of lifespan in the same way, yeah, depending on the being. Okay, now the next type is called the expiration of karma, yeah. So it is compared to the finishing of the oil of the lamp. So although there is still wick, sometimes when we burn candle, then it happens. No, sometimes there are still wick, but no more wax or no more oil. So in this case, that is because the karma that support the patisandhi, the rebirth of this life, is exhausted. So that karma cannot give more result, cannot give longer. So in that case, although human lifespan is, let's say, the person might live up to 100, but that karma only support him until 70, let's say. So, and then he or she passed away. So in that case, that's the expiration of karma. Okay, so, and in another case, another scenario, that's the finishing of both the oil and the wick. It is compared to the expiration of both lifespan and karma for this life. So let's say when both the karmic productive force and lifespan both are 100 years, let's say, then when it comes to the end, exactly the same time, the both things finished at the same time. So that kind of death is due to the expiration of both. Now you may say, then it is very hard to know what exactly, which one it is, yeah, for which reason, yeah. Only maybe an arahant or a person with supernormal power, with abhinya, maybe he or she can tell. But for us, we have to know that there exist these few types of reason or how cause of death, but it will be a little bit difficult to define. Let's talk about the last one, and we'll come back to this point a little bit. Now, the last one is compared to a candle or an oil lamp being blown by wind or someone blow it out. So this is compared to the death by a destructive karma. Okay, so there is still oil. The karma can still produce more life, and the weak lifespan is still there, is still possible. But because of some akusala karma that is done either in this life or in previous life, it can be previous life or this life. So this destructive karma, remember when we studied destructive karma, it destroyed the result of the particular kamma, in this case, the patisandhi, the result that is given by that, and then it gives its own result, right? So it is a destructive karma arised. So in this case, it will be like a candle being blown off, no? Now, this type of death can only happen to animals, peta, asura, human being, and earthbound devas. The higher levels, higher realm devas and Brahma, their life cannot be cut by destructive karma. They will live through their lifespan or until their karma support them. Yeah. Yes, Edith.
Charana, did the Buddha give examples for these types of deaths? I don't know, in the suttas somewhere, because oftentimes bhikkhus asked him, right, like, what happened to this person or that person? Do you know any examples?
At this moment right now, I cannot recall, but I think in somewhere in the suttas, it must, like as you say, some people ask what happened to this person, what happened to this person. No, so I think there must be somewhere in the suttas this must also be mentioned. Yeah. Yes, Claudia?
So this last death is both from external causes and also for oneself, the decision of oneself. That is correct?
It can be, yes, exactly. It can be this destructive karma, meaning it can be a suicide, an attempt of suicide, or it can be an accident, or it can be killed by someone, or it can be even in a natural disaster. Let's say like an earthquake or a typhoon or something, that is also possible, a destructive karma. Right? Okay. So there are these four, yeah. Yes.
I'm mostly confused the other three, actually. Like maybe the first one is easy, like someone is mostly healthy, I guess, and then they live until old age, and then they die because of old age. And the second one would be like they are sickly, maybe, or no?
Now, sometimes that is actually exactly the point that I am trying to go to right now, because for us, that's why I said it is very difficult for us to define exactly which cause of death for a particular person. No, for example, you may say someone, let's say lifespan is 100. That's easy to understand, as Eddie said. But let's say someone he or she passed away at the age of 40. Let's say, so 40 years old lifespan. It's longer now, so it's not because of lifespan. So it could be because of karma. We don't know that what kind of patisandhi give result for that lifetime, and how long that patisandhi can support this person to live. So it could be just only, it can support only for 40 years, maybe. So in that case, that would be because of karma, right? But it can also be because of a destructive karma, that he got sick and died in 40 years old. That's also possible, right? So for us, it seems like very similar case, and it's very difficult to define exactly what, because it can both be like an immature death, no, let's say. So in that case, I talked with my teacher, and then he said that only then the Buddha or an Arahant or a person with abhinya can tell, because they can see exactly the birth and the causes of the birth and rebirth of the person. Then they can tell. But for us, it is very difficult to say this is because of karma, this is because of destructive karma. But for us, student of the Abhidhamma, we only have to know that it exists, these four causes. So it may be because of this cause, the other cause, or the other cause, no, or any of one of these causes can be the cause of death. But exactly which case is which one, then we may not be able to tell. But this is, I mean, in the field of study, we have to understand that it exists these four kinds. Yeah, is that clear, Edith?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Claudia.
Sorry, just the only thing that I don't understand is how do you define the quality of kamma that lengths, for example, for 40 years or 50 years or 60 years? There is we have any knowledge of those or no? We don't know.
You mean to define the how long this kamma can support how long a life?
Yeah, there is a kind of kamma that we know that they have a certain kind of length or no.
No, it is very hard to tell. But for example, last week we talked about how to perform a wholesome kamma, right? So the way there actually suttas also talk about this. The way how a kamma is being performed also affects the effect of the kamma itself. And also, kamma is a little bit more complex than just straightforward 1 + 1 = 2, because say this patisandhi kamma, for example, can support this person to live 40 years of human life, let's say. But this person during lifetime, he or she is very good, is very generous, and do a lot of dana and practice a lot of sila. Morality is very good and always helping other people. So he or she accumulate a lot of kusala kamma this life, which can give result in this very lifetime as supportive kamma for this patisandhi, right? So because of his or her own action, that 40 years might be extended to 60 years. We cannot tell, depending on other kamma, other supportive kamma, right? So it is really case by case and depending on the wholesome deed that a person do. So we cannot tell definitely how it works. I mean, we know what do you call that? The idea of or how it works, but we cannot tell exactly this person how, because we cannot see. Only person, the Buddha or the person with abhinya can tell. Yes, Edith?
So I'm just wondering how all this translates to the other beings who are born with akusala karma, actually, like animals and so forth.
Yes, this is say for animals, it is basically similar because of akusala karma. Then the akusala vipaka give result, and then they will reborn into the animal realm. No, let's say so. Animals also, depending on different kinds of animals, there are also fixed lifespan. Sometimes, like dogs lives like how many 20 or like 25, I don't know how many years. Like some turtles may live like 150 or 30 to 200 years. So depending on the species, also the lifespan is different, and also depending on the karma, whether there is destructive karma, like somebody go fishing and caught him, or I don't know, no. So there can be so many different things that can happen to that particular being in the lifetime. So also they have their own karma. The resultant will continue to give result. So there could be supportive karma that supports the life to have healthier food. Let's say this animal have very good food and it's easy to find food, or supportive karma possible, or then it can have destructive karma. And so all this basically very similar to a human.
So all this I understand, but because I mean, I feel like when they are reborn with the akusala vipaka, is that's bad, right? So if they die quickly or something, isn't that good?
That depends. Because let's say an animal that is reborn into the realm that is not so good. So if that life is not so long, then it suffer less and be reborn into a human realm, then we say it is good. But if say that is reborn to even a worse situation, then that might not be so good. We cannot tell exactly the next life where that is leading to, no? So it's also case by case.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like sometimes we humans are making efforts so that the animal lives longer and longer, even if it's sickly, very sickly or something. And I think, I mean, I feel like that's wrong to do. It's like just prolonging something that it's already not a great result.
Now, but any kind of life, although it is it may be good or it may be not good, but life is life. So we cannot say that Of course, if it is prolonging and if the animal is going to die, and maybe it is good to let the animal die peacefully and give it a good environment. So there are more possibilities that in the last moments there's something nice, like if the animal feels like being loved or feeling the care, then maybe some kind of kusala mind state can arise in the animal. Then with that kusala, then hopefully then the animal can be reborn into a better realm, no, into, let's say, human world also. Then that would be good. Like we can create the environment, but we can never tell what exactly happens next to the animal, no? So yeah, all right. Yes, Mila.
I'm just kind of trying to understand the kamma for this life when it expires. So basically, you have some kind of kamma that would produce a human life, and when that expires, then maybe like better kamma takes over or worse kamma takes over, and that's when your life ends.
Yes. Now we are going to come to look at the dying process again. So at that time, we come back to this. Okay, Mila?
Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue a little bit with this. Now, the first three causes, the expiration of the lifespan, of kamma, or of both at the same time, is called a timely death. It's called kala marana. That means the person, that kamma or the lifespan can only produce that much. So that's the time that is given, no, because of that resultant. So that's called a timely death. And the last one, by a destructive kamma, is called an untimely death, akala marana. That's because there are still kamma can still support, lifespan is still good, but because of a destructive kamma, so that is called untimely. Now, how is death being defined in the Theravada Buddhism? First, we have to understand this in order to know what means by death and rebirth, right? Now, death is defined as the interruption of the life faculties, which is included in the limit of one existence. Because as we know, the mind and the mind arise each chitta arise, pass away, arise, pass away, arise, pass away, arise, pass away, like that. Yeah. So it's always a continuation. Even if death consciousness arise, then patisandhi, rebirth consciousness arise immediately after that. No. So in between them, there is no gap in between that. But Chuti Chitta actually defines the last moment of a particular existence, of a particular lifetime. Now here, the important thing is life faculty. Remember when we study the Cetasikas in chapter 2, when we talk about the universal Cetasikas, that those are the Cetasikas that arise with every consciousness, no, every chitta. And then we have Phasa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Ekagata, Jivitindriya, and Manasikara. No? So this Jivitindriya here, this life faculty, which arise together with each chitta, it's a universal Cetasika. That's the Cetasika that maintain the mind alive. No, maintain that chitta alive. No, that's the mental life faculty, or called vitality. And now in chapter 6, in the coming chapter, we are going to look at also the body life faculty, the rupa jivitindriya. So these two only happens in living beings. Yeah. So jivitindriya, life faculty of the mind, and life faculty of the body, or mind and body for a human being. Now, when it comes to the end of one lifetime, then in the last mind mental process, we have bhavanga, manodo varavajana chitta. So let's say here in a mind door mental process, 5 door also possible, but let's take the example of a mind door process. So mind door advertent consciousness, then we have 5 jhavanas here, and after that sometimes tadaravana can arise, but in this example we just take 5 jhavana and then chuti, no, the death consciousness. Now in the death consciousness, chuti also includes a Cetasika jivitindriya, yeah, this jivitindriya of the mind, and also this rupa jivitindriya. In this coming chapter, we will study about it. This is also body life faculty will also cease in the same time with the chuti chitta. So this life faculty is actually a metta, a kind of material property produced by kamma. So at that time, before dying, then the kamma produced rupa, it will stop producing at some point, and then until just at the same time when chuti chitta arise and passed away, both nama jivitindriya and rupa jivitindriya, mind life faculty and body life faculty, will both cease at the same time. And that is what marks the end of one lifetime, a particular lifetime. Then immediately after that, death consciousness, then rebirth consciousness, patisandhi arised, following by bhavanga, a series of bhavanga. So that marks the beginning of the next life. So now coming back to Mila's question, now a particular result, so this patisandhi here, this rebirth consciousness is the vipaka citta, is the resultant consciousness of a particular karma being done in the past, right? So during that time, this particular karma in the past life give the result as a rebirth consciousness here. And it will also give result, that same karma will give a result as bhavanga, bhavanga, bhavanga. Bhavanga is called life continuum, no? So that's throughout our life, there is a lot of bhavanga that will arise throughout our life. So until the last moment of this lifetime, then this bhavanga also ceases. No more of this bhavanga. No? The result of that karma is exhausted. So as Mila was saying, so that particular karma is exhausted. No more result for that, cannot support anymore. So the person died, chuti chitta arise, and another karma give result of this patisandhi now. That could be a better karma, or it could be a kusala karma if it was to be reborn as a human, or it depends on the doing of the person now. Depend on whether the person has done a lot of kusala, a lot of akusala, what happened in the last moment, which one gave result, then it starts the next life. Is that clear, Mila? Yeah? Okay. Yes, Delawa?
In the suttas or in the commentaries, I'm not sure, we have the cases where people did very terrible deeds and afterwards they fell into hell. And under what category would that fall? Is it cutting
Destructive
off
karma.
Destructive. Okay.
That would be like, say, Devadatta. He did a lot of akusala, very serious akusala, harming the Buddha, splitting the Sangha, and like that, no? And then so it is said that even the earth opened and ate him, no? So his lifespan is not finished yet. And also that supportive karma that gave that birth could go a bit longer. But because of his bad deeds, his unwholesome deeds, akusala deeds, that gave result as a destructive karma that destroyed that the result of the patisandhi that gave him that life and gave its own result in avijji hell, no? So that's included in the fourth type of destructive karma. All right. Okay, so let's continue a little bit. Now, remember, in the last mental process, the death process, we talked about this previously. In the last 5 jhavana, one of these 3 objects will be presented to the mind. Yeah? Either a kamma object, kamma nimitta, so action, kamma itself, the sign of the kamma, or gati nimitta, the sign of destination. So these 5 jhavana here will take one of these objects as an object. And this 5 jhavana here is actually a supportive karma that help a previously done kusala or akusala karma to give result, no? Because when a person die, he or she is actually very weak at that moment. It is not what he or she is doing during that last 5 jhavana, right? Cannot do much here. But this 5 is a supportive karma for a previous karma to give result. Now, these three objects, if it is a karma object, then it must be a past object. That means any kind of karma that the person has done throughout his or her life, some particular karma. Say in this example, we take like this lady was a nurse, so he or she, like this action, the wholesome action of helping this child, supposed to give results. So this past object that happened in the mind door appeared, this karma, as if she was doing that at that moment. No? So it appears to her, and this karma is going to give result for the next rebirth. Or some kamma nimitta, sign of karma, means it can be a past object or it can be a present object. If it's a past object, it will appear in the mind door. If it's a present object, it will appear in, it can appear in any of the 5 doors or 6 mind door also, it is possible. So those are the, let's say, tools or things that are related to that karma. Say in this case, maybe some instruments that the nurse used to help the person, or maybe it could be like flowers that a person offered to the Buddha, or anything that is related to that karma that is going to give result. Now, the last, gati nimitta, a sign of destination, will be a present object that appears to the mind of that person. So the person might see something not with the eyes, but with the mind. It will see some either the place where the person is going to be reborn. Sometimes as a human, we may see like the womb of the mother. Or sometimes it can be some kind of experience that the person will have during that lifetime. Or it may be, let's say, some people may see like a forest or like animals, and then probably maybe he will or she will be reborn into the animal realm. That's possible, no? So that's gati nimitta. So one of these 3 objects will appear to the mind of that person. Then this javana, this manodwara vajana, and the last 5 javana will take one of these objects, and this object is going to be the object of the patisandhi and the bhavanga for the next life again. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of like a revision because we have studied this in detail in the previous chapter. But just to remind you that this is what is called death after chuti, immediately patisandhi will arise. And that is what defined the one existent and another existent. Now, how about for an arahant? For an arahant, the last mental process after chuti chitta, nothing will arise anymore. And that will be total cessation. Only that's parinibbana. Excuse me. So for that will be the last process of an arahant, and no more chitta and rupa will arise. So from life to life, then from the patisandhi, then we lived all throughout life, then to the last moment, chuti chitta arise. Again, patisandhi arise again. So this not ceasing, no, it's never ending. This continuation process of chitta from life to life is actually what is called samsara. The continuation again and again and again and again. If you see from one chitta to the other chitta, there is no gap at all. There is no break at all. So that this continuation, never stopping arising. Of course, like there are some special cases, let's say asannyasata, the non-perceiving being, and other special cases, but talking about in general, this continuation process of chitta again and again is what is called samsara. Now, with this, we come to the final part of the chapter 5. And this is a verse which can be found in the last part of the chapter 5 of the Abhidhamma Sangha. So Venerable Anuruddha says, just as here, again, in the next existence, just as here, just like this life, again in the next existence, in the next life, there arise rebirth linking consciousness, bhavanga, and mental processes, and death consciousness. Again, with rebirth and life continuum, the stream of consciousness turn around again and again. The wise, keeping morality, developing insight on the impermanence nature of every conditional phenomena, realizes the deathless state by cutting off fetters of attachment, will attain final peace. So samsara will continue again and again and again and again until we practiced, until the wise one practiced sila and bhavana and developed insight into the impermanence nature of every conditional phenomena and cut off all kinds of defilements, especially attachment and moha and avijja, so ignorance. Only until then will we attain the final peace. Then no more this arising of this samsara, no more turning around, only until then. So with this beautiful verse, and let's remember that's the final goal. And we study this Abhidhamma Sangha, knowing about mind and matter. For what purpose? For the purpose of vipassana practice, no? And later on in the last chapter, we will talk about meditation, and we will also talk about the stages of enlightenment, the stages of wisdom which one has to attain in order to attain the first stage of enlightenment. So we have the nama rupa paricheda jnana. First, we have to understand what is mind, what is metta. So the study of the Abhidhamma, now up till chapter 5, we have studied all the basic of citta. We know all kinds of citta, we know cettasika, we know the combination, and we know how the process of mind, mental process, how it arises. So all this information is for us, is to give us information so that when we practice, and we can see that in our own practice for vipassana. So for the attainment of the first kind of jnana, no? Nama rupa paricheda jnana, analytical knowledge of mind and matter. Yeah. Then later on, we have to know about cause and effect, the causes of this mind, the causes of this matter. Why are we turning around still? Because of what? No. So later on in chapter 8, we are going to study also conditionalities, the different conditions, and also the dependent origination, and so on. So all this is going to be very helpful for our practice. And we should not forget that the Abhidhamma study is for vipassana practice. All right, so with this, we have finished all chapter 5. Congratulations, everyone. And so now it's 7:16. Okay, we still have some time. I don't know if you have any questions that you would like to discuss, but anyway, we'll take a break first. And coming back, we can either discuss a little bit, do a little bit recap. And if we still have energy and time, then we may start a little bit of introduction to chapter 6. Is that okay? All right, so for the time being, let's take 5 minutes break, and coming back, we'll continue. Welcome back, everyone. So, it has been the long journey until we come to chapter 6. I think we started, when did we start? I don't remember exactly, but almost 1 year already, right? Yeah, almost 1 year. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone, and also thank you for accompanying each other on this journey of exploration. Now we have already finished chapter 5. It's a great achievement. Now we know a little bit more about mind, a little bit more about citta and cettasika, and about the mental processes, and hopefully it has been helpful in our daily life. So before we continue to chapter 6, we can just do a little bit of recap and see what we have seen in the previous chapter. So when we started in chapter 1, we have seen citta, all kinds of different kinds of consciousness. We saw there are unwholesome consciousness, we saw there are wholesome consciousness, rootless consciousness, resultant consciousness, functional consciousness. So all different types that we have defined them and know what they are. And then in chapter 2, we have learned about cetasikas, all those concomitants or mental factors that arise together with chitta, no? That they always arise together. And then we have also seen the combination. So which chitta associate with which kind of cetasikas. So in chapter 1 and 2, we have seen that. Then we have learned a lot, the basic of that. So without that chapter 1 and chapter 2, it would have not been possible to continue with the other chapters. So very well done, everyone. And in chapter 3, we have also learned about the chittas, the different analysis of chitta according to their feelings, according to function, roots, door, bases, and objects, and all this we have seen. And in chapter 4, then we have seen all kinds of different mental processes, which are very interesting. The 5-door process, how actually we see something, how an eye-door mental process happens, ear-door happens, and also how the mind retain the object in the mind and then combine it into something, right? So all these mental processes, we have also seen the jhana processes, also the attainment processes, when one attained enlightenment, what happened in the processes, and also the dying process as well. Then in chapter 5, we have just finished talking about kamma. Very interesting, different types of kamma, supportive, destructive, productive, then and so on. Then we have talked about the planes and also the kappas, how long a kappa is, like when does the Buddha arise, and all this information we have seen. So up to here, we have seen actually 2 types of the ultimate realities, actually. Now, in chapter 6, we're going to look at the other 2 types of ultimate realities, which is rupa and nibbana. So if you still remember, in the very, very beginning, we talked about the 4 kinds of ultimate reality, ultimate truth, no? That's chitta, cetasika, and rupa, as well as nibbana, the state of freedom from defilement, nibbana. So in the previous 5 chapters, we have completed with chitta and cetasika, and now we are going to rupa in this coming chapter, next chapter. Now, previously, as we have seen, chitta and cetasika always arise together. We have used an example with a plate and with also some ingredients that mix together, right? And I also want to share with you another example that given by a very good Dhamma friend. He said that for him, he usually use this example like water or liquid. Say chitta is the liquid, and cetasika are some kind of different colors or tints. And so the chitta itself, chitta and cetasika, when it's mixed together, it is inseparable. So with this example, we understand that we cannot like separate them, although we know that they are together, but they always arise together. We know that they have different characteristics. It is a combination of different things, but they always arise together. I mean, with different chitta, there are different ingredients. No, we already know that. But this example is to show that they are so mixed that it is not possible to separate them. Yes, Mila?
Just wanted to confirm that more than one cetasika arise together with one chitta.
Of course,
This is probably a silly question.
Remember the minimum, the universal cetasikas? That we have just seen that it is 7 of them, right? So phasa, the contact, feeling, tension, and life faculty, and all this. So the universal must always arise together with the chitta. Now, depending on what kind of chitta, then other ingredients, other mental factors can also arise together. But the most simple chitta is a minimum of 8 properties. So chitta and 7 cetasikas. Those are the most basic one, just like eye consciousness, because their function is very simple. Like eye consciousness, they are vipaka chitta, they're resultant, they don't do much, they just arise, see something and gone. No? So those simple chitta are made of 8 ingredients, chitta and 7 cetasikas. Now, depending on what kind of chitta it is, for example, if it is a kusala chitta, now we're doing something wholesome, then the 19 beautiful universal cetasikas like metta, aloba, adosa, and lightness, and all those beautiful ones, universal ones, will also join together, no? Then if it is with wisdom, then also with wisdom. So it can grow in number a lot, right? So depending on what kind of chitta. But there is no chitta that arises without Cettasika. There is no Cettasika that arises without chitta.
And they're not in succession. It's not like one after another. Cetasikas arise together and then chitta paired with one chitta. Okay, thank you so much.
So a group of Cettasikas paired with the chitta arise together at the same time, exist at the same time, and pass away at the same time. That's their characteristic. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Luis.
I guess my question was, can you hear me? Sorry.
Can you speak a little bit louder? We can hear you, but very soft.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Right. Yes, that's better.
I was just wondering, in Vipassana, when we note or when we take the object, if the chitta and the Cettasika are together, does that mean that we can never, or we should stray away from trying to note them separately?
When we practice, can you say the first part of the question again? I kind of didn't.
Oh, so if it's a chitta and a Cettasika, if they arise together and cease together, would you note them together, or is it okay to note them separate, to ever try to separate them in the noting?
Now, sometimes when the chitta and Cettasika, they arise and then they pass away together at the same time. But depending on what kind of chitta and what kind of Cettasika, some are more apparent to us, some of their characteristic. Say, anger. Yeah. So dosa, anger is very obvious, right? So sometimes we may know that Cettasika because it is very obvious, it presents to the mind. So it is, during Vipassana practice, it is not really what we choose to observe. No, we cannot like kind of say like, oh, now I will observe the chitta. Now I will observe this Cettasika. No, so it is what presents to the mind, what is more obvious to the mind. We take that as a meditation object. Plus, chitta and Cettasika, it arises, billions of chitta and Cettasika arise in each moment. It arises, pass away, arise, pass away. It is so fast. So when we notice something, let's say anger, let's say, so we are actually knowing that this Cettasika, this dosa, is arising and pass away, arise and pass away, arise for a prolonged period. Otherwise, we won't even recognize it if it is just only one chitta that arises and pass away. It's so fast, right? So maybe we are angry for 5 minutes, or billions of dosa mula chitta, of aversion, rooted consciousness already arose in the mind. So that is what we can catch now, what we can know. So we try to observe that. If that dosa, in this case, Cettasika, if that is what the mind can know at that time, take that as an object, observe it, and see what was happening in the mind. What is the mind thinking during when dosa is there? What's happening in the body? Like, how does it arise? Like, what are the causes and all this? So we observe whatever is obvious, whatever presents to the mind. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, welcome. Okay. So, so we are talking about mind, yeah? So chitta and Cettasika that arise together. Now for rupa, it is also, we can understand it in a similar way. Rupa also does not arise alone. So according to the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha introduced 28 types of rupa. 28 types of material property. And this material property, they do not arise one by one. They arise as a combination. Just like chitta and Cettasika, they arise in a combination, arise together, and then they exist together, and they pass away together, right? So in this coming chapter, we are going to look at metta in different aspect, in different aspect. First, we're going to look at the enumeration. We're going to look at which of the 28 kinds exist, which kind of rupas are there. Then we are going to look at their classification. Then we're going to look at their causes. What caused this kind of rupa? Which kind of rupa is caused by what? So some kind of rupa is caused by karma because of past karma, then this rupa exists. Some are caused by the mind. Say when we are very shy and then this the face become red, yeah, or when we are very excited, the heart is beating very fast, or like, so some kind of rupa is related to the mind. They are mind generated. So there is a different kind. Then some of them are generated by nutrition. So when we eat something, there are nutriments. So these nutriments also produce some kind of metta. So there are different causes for metta to arise. So we are going to also look at this, and some are just purely because of temperature. Anyway, so then the fourth aspect we're going to look at is grouping. How are they, what kind of rupa, how, which ingredient are there in order to make this kind of rupa? And then we are going to look at its arising as well. So in this coming chapter, we are going to look at rupa in these 5 aspects. All right, so this is just like a general introduction of what we are going to do in chapter 6. And since it's 7:34 already, I think maybe it will be good that we start really going into rupa next week, without starting a new topic now. Yeah. Okay. So in this case, we will stop the content until here. Now I will just stop sharing screen, and then we still have some time. If you have some question, we can still talk a little bit. Okay.
Okay, so I'm still not over the 4 kinds of death. I thought when Ila was asking about the expiration of karma, and you were explaining how the karma will end with the chuti. But I feel like you didn't answer the question where when the karma is not could still go on or has the potentiality to still go on, basically. So the
like,
life
so say the
continues.
lifespan is expired.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
when
the lifespan is expired, and the karma could still go on, basically. So the life faculty basically has more power, I guess.
No, not really, because everything is about cause and condition, no? So it's not one cause and one effect, no? So for something to arise, it must have all the conditions fulfilled in order for it to arise. So if lifespan is one of the conditions, lifespan cannot support that anymore, then that karma also cannot go on. Although it has the potential, but it cannot go on. Just like when a destructive karma arises, it still have that karma still have potential to give result. But because of that destructive karma, it cut it off, right? So in the same way, lifespan cut it off. So all the conditions are not fulfilled for it to continue.
So as I understand, for example, if someone is killed by another person, and so none of the natural conditions would end their life. As I understood, like that's wrong because the other person still have the potential to live on and so on. Would that karma and things also just become defunct, basically?
Say it again. I didn't understand. What do you mean? Sorry.
So if a being is killed by so that's a destructive element to the death. So the karma that created that life would become defunct completely.
We cannot say that it become defunct because it already gave its result. And right, it already gave result as patisandhi and as all the other results. But it is just cut off, and so say it was supposed to give 80 years of result, but at 40 years it was being destroyed by another karma. So that's it. It produced its result. not to its full extent because of a destructive karma, but then it already produced a result. Usually, when we call ahosi karma, defunct karma, we refer to those that never have chance to give result. Then they expire.
So nothing remains, basically.
No, for that one, no.
Okay.
But of course, we have to understand that when we perform a wholesome karma and wholesome action, say in the time of the Buddha, when someone, let's say, offer food to the Buddha, they do it like wholeheartedly for, let's say, the full hour. 1 hour. So during that hour, how many kusala the person, how many kusala chitta arise in the mind of the person, right? So therefore, it can give result of many good human life. It can be, or deva life, right? So the same action, because of there are so many chittas, it can give many results, but it does not mean that that only one action can only give one time result. It's not like that, because it can give a lot of result, no? Because of so many chittas there during that 1 hour of time. But the one that has already given this patisandhi, and if it is not, let's say, not used up, let's say, still have potential, but that because it was being cut off, then it cannot, the leftover cannot give result again. That's what it's meant. Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's share our merits and also dedicate our effort for the attainment of Nibbana to close today's session. Itam no punyam Nibbana sa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam Nibbana sa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam Nibbana sa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam sava satanam bhajima. Itam no punyam sava satanam bhajima. Itam no punyam sava satanam bhajima. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'll see you next week then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week.
See you.